Good morning and welcome to Morning Bro, your Thursday, July 16th sports update. On today's show, first, the World Cup final is set, and it's a heavyweight. Second, the American League remembers how to pitch at the All-Star game. Third, Wimbledon crowns a familiar champion and a fresh one. Fourth, the Tour de France rolls through the flatlands with the yellow jersey unmoved. Fifth, golf's final major tees off at Royal Birkdale. And finally, a 27-year-old world record falls in Monaco, and there's a must-watch clip of that one in the show notes. Let's get into it. First up, soccer, and the World Cup final the neutrals wanted. Argentina edged England 2-1 in Wednesday's semi-final. Spain shut out France 2-0 the night before, so the reigning champions meet the 2010 winners with the trophy on the line. Argentina's chasing back-to-back titles, something no nations managed since Brazil in the early 1960s. Spain, though, has been the most complete team in the tournament, giving up the fewest goals of any semi-finalist. It's old guard pedigree against a possession machine. This is the kind of match that decides how a whole generation gets remembered. Next, baseball, and the Midsummer Classic turned into a pitching clinic. The American League blanked the National League 4-0 in Philadelphia. 11 American League pitchers combined to hold the Nationals to just 3 hits, the first shutout in the All-Star game in 13 years. Yankees outfielder Cody Bellinger took MVP honors for a 2-run single in the very first inning that ended the drama early. And here's the revenge angle. The American League lost last year's game in a home run swing-off, so a clean 9-inning shutout was the emphatic reply. Philly fans, true to form, spent most of the night booing anyone who wasn't wearing red. Moving on to tennis, and Wimbledon crowned one familiar name and one brand new one. Jannik Sinner beat Alexander Zverev in 4 sets for his second Wimbledon title and his 5th major overall. He dropped the opening set, then never blinked. But the women's final was the better story. 21-year-old Linda Noskova edged her countrywoman Karolina Muchova in an all-Czech final. That makes her the youngest Wimbledon champion since Petra Kvitova back in 2011. And get this, she'd never even reached the 4th round of a major before this fortnight. Next, cycling, and the Tour de France is in its flat, nervous middle stretch. The yellow jersey hasn't budged. Tadej Pogačar still leads overall across the western French plains. Wednesday's stage into Nevers went to Norwegian sprinter Soren Werenskjold, who outkicked the pack in a bunch finish. The overall standings didn't move an inch. Thursday's stage looks like another day for the sprinters, though a nasty little climb 20 kilometers from the line could tempt the breakaway riders. The mountains are coming soon, and that's when Pogačar's rivals have to make their move or make their peace. Moving on to golf, and the year's final major begins today. The Open Championship returns to Royal Birkdale on the Lancashire coast for the first time since 2017. Scotty Scheffler arrives as defending champion after a 4-shot win last year. The field is stacked. All 50 of the world's top 50 are teeing it up. Birkdale's been reworked since its last Open, with a new par 3 15th hole tucked into the dunes. And as always with links golf, the leaderboard may come down less to the players than to the weather. A calm morning and a howling afternoon can decide a championship before anyone reaches the turn. And finally, athletics, and this is your must-watch. Kenya's Emmanuel Wanyonyi, the reigning Olympic and world 800-meter champion, stepped up to the rarely run 1,000 meters in Monaco and demolished a record that had stood since 1999. He clocked 2 minutes, 11.83 seconds, shaving just over a tenth off his countryman Noah Njani's old mark. And here's the kicker, it was his first ever race at the distance. The depth was staggering too. The top 6 all dipped under 2 minutes 15. Wanyonyi said it simply, this was the first time he'd run the 1,000, and breaking the world record made him so happy. 45 seconds of pure closing speed. The link's in the show notes. That's your Thursday. The World Cup final headlines the weekend with kickoff Sunday. The Open runs through Sunday at Birkdale, and the Tour de France is closing in on its first real mountain tests. The link to that world record run is waiting for you in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.